What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Errol, the true Spence, aka the Big Fish, is back. After a year and a half hiatus, will be moving up in weight, going up from 147 pounds to 154 pounds, and taking on the WBO, WBC Junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundura, the Towering Inferno, aka the cheat code. The guy is 6'6", 154-pound champion, southpaw, throws punches and bunches, got a great jab, a great inside fighter. It's very rare for a guy to be that tall and be a good inside fighter, but he's a good inside fighter. Sometimes he gives away his height, but he's a very fan-friendly, very exciting fighter. I've never watched a Fundura fight and said, damn, man, this fight was boring. This fight left a lot to be desired. Never, ever watched a Fundura fight. His fight is very exciting, and same could be said for Errol Spence Jr. I've never watched a Spence fight and said, man, this fight was boring, or I fell asleep at his fight, or his fight left a lot to be desired. He's a guy that comes to fight. He comes to bring the pain. And so does Fundura. This is going to be an exciting fight going down in the Big D, Dallas, Texas. AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, going down in the first quarter of 2025. Once the date is solidified, I might have to jump in the whip and ride on down there and check that fight out myself, man, especially if they have a strong undercard. But this fight got announced earlier today, and yours truly is much looking forward to this matchup featuring two exciting, fan-friendly combatants. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. A lot of people hating on this fight. A lot of people saying that Errol Spence Jr. shouldn't be getting another title opportunity off a knockout loss, as in his last outing he was destroyed by the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, Terrence Bud Crawford, in a fight that many people considered was a 50-50 fight going into it. It turned out to be a one-sided beatdown, as Terrence Crawford put on one of the best displays in the sweet science that we call boxing in a long time, man. Probably since Floyd Mayweather when he defeated Canelo Alvarez. That was a one-sided beatdown that a lot of people thought was going to be a very, very competitive. And a lot of people thought that Canelo Alvarez might be the first one to give Floyd Mayweather his first loss. And Floyd Mayweather dominated that fight from first round to the 12th round. The difference between that fight and the Crawford-Spence fight was that Crawford stopped Errol Spence Jr. after he won nearly every round of that fight. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But it's going to be a great, great matchup, man. It's going to be a great, great fight. It's going down on a Saturday night in early 2025. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, Terrence Crawford allowed this fight to take place as he agreed to step aside and allow this fight to happen. But what really happened was Crawford and his team are in preliminary negotiations to take on the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. That's why they decided to step aside and allow Sebastian Fundura to take a voluntary defense against former unified welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. Now, I kind of got wind of this a couple of days ago, well, probably about 10 days ago, and that was the exact time that Terrence Crawford and his team requested a 10-day extension in negotiations with Sebastian Fundura. Now, Fundura manager Samson Likowitz came out a couple of days ago and said the fight was a done deal, but that he was upset that Crawford revealed in an interview with Bernie the Boxer that Fundura was knocked out in sparring by the last guy that Terrence Crawford beat, and that was Madronov. He was not happy about that. But I always understood that the fight that the PBC wanted to make was Errol Spence Jr. versus Sebastian Fundura. Why would they allow Sebastian Fundura to go over there and fight Crawford and Crawford to beat Fundura and get those two belts when the PBC not only has Errol Spence Jr., but they got the former undisputed champion in Jermell Charlo. They got several fighters at 154 pounds that they can make fights with and put those two belts on the line and put on big, big fights. Why would they allow a guy that's not affiliated with the PBC already came over to the PBC and knocked out one of their biggest stars in Terrence Crawford. Why would they allow that to happen again? I never understood that. People assumed that they were going to allow Fundura to take on Crawford, but they didn't understand that Crawford had a rabbit that he pulled out that hat, really, because Crawford always was trying to make the Canelo Alvarez fight. That's been his plan A. If he can't get that fight, plan B is to chase Undisputed at 154 pounds. And for what I'm hearing is that they believe that they have a real good chance to get the Canelo Alvarez fight in May of 2025. Now, everything is going to be really relied on the outcome of this fight that's going down this Saturday in Saudi Arabia, featuring WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol, who defeated Canelo Alvarez a couple of years ago, and a fight with the WBC, IBF, and WBO light heavyweight champion Arthur Beterbiev. Now, if Bivol is successful and defeats Beterbiev, I'm hearing that we will get Bivol versus Canelo to the rematch. As Canelo wants his get back, he wants to right the wrong. He feels he was not at his best. He was dealing with some injuries. He feels that now that he's 100% healthy and he's at the top of his game, that he is the superior fighter, and he's looking to put that on full display in Cinco de Mayo 2025 versus Bivol in a rematch. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, if Beterbiev wins, then and he's undisputed, then Canelo Bivol 2 will not happen, and then Canelo will be looking at a matchup with Terrence Bud Crawford, which will be a bigger fight than Canelo versus Bivol, as that fight will bring together two of the most loyal fan bases in boxing, the Mexican fan base and the African-American fan base. And those two fan bases get together equals successful pay-per-view buys. Big numbers at the gate, big numbers on pay-per-view. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But Bivol versus Beterbiev, man, that's a 50-50 fight. I got a prediction video coming out Thursday, tomorrow, and I'll give you my prediction on who I think gonna win that fight. But that's a big fight going down this Saturday in Saudi Arabia as part of Riyadh season. Turki Al-Shiki, a.k.a. Moneybags, is putting on another big event. He's got the backing of Terrence Crawford. They're in preliminary discussions with Canelo Alvarez to make that fight happen. Canelo Alvarez don't want to make any decision till we find out who is the winner of the Bivol versus Beterbiev fight this Saturday. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. A lot of people is hating on this fight, saying that how in the hell can Errol Spence Jr. get a title opportunity off a knockout loss? Well, the same could be said, how in the hell Sebastian Fundura got a title opportunity off a knockout loss when he was able to get that opportunity and defeat Tim Tszyu to become unified champion. He's given the same opportunity to Errol Spence Jr., who will be coming for a title opportunity off a knockout loss. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Interesting developments in the sport of boxing. We got one of the biggest names in the sport of boxing making his long-awaited return to the square circles, Errol Spence Jr. He's a guy that don't believe in no tune-ups. A lot of people say he should have a couple of tune-ups before getting back in there in the deep water, that they think he's going to drown because he's not ready. He ain't been fighting. He don't even have a trainer yet, as him and his last trainer have been in court battling over, fighting over money that the trainer said that Errol Spence Jr. owed him. Errol Spence Jr. said he don't owe him a damn thing, that we already agreed that this was going to be the amount that I was going to give you. No matter how many pay-per-view buys I do, this was going to be your set amount of money that I was going to give to you. And when this trainer heard about the other fighters that he trained that gave him bigger part of what they made in big fights, that he was singing a whole different tune that he sung previously with Errol Spence Jr. So they went to a court and fought it out. They ended up parting ways, and now Errol Spence Jr. is looking for a new trainer. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires, but can't wait for this matchup, man. It's going down in the Big D, Dallas, Texas. I might have to jump in the whip and drive on down there to AT&T Stadium and check that mega matchup out between Spence and Fundura going down in the first quarter of 2025. So we will see what happens, and We will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts on, do you like this matchup between Fundura versus Spence? And what will Crawford's next move be? Especially if Beterbiev beats Bivol. He's going to definitely get the Canelo fight, in my opinion. But if Bivol beats Beterbiev, he might be stuck like Chuck. He might be stuck like Chuck, man, if Bivol beats Beterbiev. But, again, like I said, he allowed to step aside and allowed that Fundura and Errol Spence Jr. fight to go down. And if he can't get the Canelo fight, then he'll be able to get the winner of Spence versus Fundura, which if Spence was able to get a win and get in people's minds that, hey, man, he looks strong at 154, which a lot of people speculated that was one of the reasons why he lost to Crawford, was that he stayed at 147 pounds too long, that he was weight drained. I don't think that was the number one reason why he lost to Crawford. I just think Crawford is a better fighter. That style is all wrong for Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. can fight him at 154 pounds, 160 pounds, 175 pounds. I think it's going to be the same result, man. His style is tailor-made for Terrence Crawford, but I do think he would have put on a better performance if it wasn't for the weight of 147 pounds, which he couldn't make and maintain his high level of fighting any longer. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Follow me on Instagram at JBSports3303. Follow me on TikTok at JBSports New Media. Follow me on X at BriscoeJai77071. Follow me on my 2 YouTube channels at JB Sports. The man at JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend, 9656. And follow me on at JB Sports 3303. And like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.